The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. From the Jamboree to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy.
Good evening and welcome to the Week 7 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and Your View. You can also find us on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Find a full score ticker on the bottom of the screen throughout the night, and we'll have some scores coming your way from all 5 regions in just a bit. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, Jimmy Roy. We got Henry, we got Ryan, we got Skip. And we appreciate you tuning in. Let's get everything started with tonight's opening drive.
Taking you through tonight's top stories. This is Opening Drive on the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show.
Going through the state, I got a score for each region, and certainly there's lots of games we can get to. And I'll start first in North Louisiana, 26-21. Neville Tigers hand Ruston their first loss of the season. You know, that district, 2-5A, probably just as competitive. Maybe you could say, I don't know, more than 9-5A, but a lot of good teams in that district. Ruston, what we've talked about, going through a stretch where you've played some real tough teams out of state, back in state, a tough win against Ouachita Parish last week by 1, and Neville comes in playing real good, running the ball real well, win toe-to-toe and then some. This is probably, look, hats off to the fans that got to go to this ball game. This is what you get when Neville moving into that 2-5A. It's going to be some fun football.
Well, I'll tell you, it will be. And to add to what you're talking about, Ouachita beat West Monroe beat Ouachita tonight 15-13. So, you know, they're going to battle it out just like when I'm sitting here watching John Curtis beat Brother Martin 17-14. Yeah. Carr was over Jesuit 21-9 or whatnot. It's not blowout games by any stretch of the imagination. Look for teams in both of those districts to be around when it comes Superdome time.
We've talked about this multiple times. When you start looking at the schedule week in, week out that the 9-5A district and the 2-5A district has, they're different than everybody else. You take a Catholic High, Central, a Zachary, Dutchtown, they get breaks in their schedules, where up north and down in the New Orleans Catholic League, they don't get that chance. You wonder with what the schedule that Ruston's went through, how physically healthy they are. I can tell you now, Jared Ball will not make an excuse and will not even bring that up. And I don't know if they were banged up, but you got to be somewhat. But that takes nothing away from what Neville did in that streak. That's what high school football is about. I bet that atmosphere was crazy.
You know, each week, you know, getting your guys up to play a great team and a great team and a great team, that's the tough thing. It's physically, I know, mentally emotional for Coach Baugh as well, and not only for those kids, I mean, but for the coaches, because it's the same story each week. Hey, you can't let anything get by because here's another good team, and they played Neville in the Jamboree. And that's when I first recognized I thought Neville was pretty fast on defense, and they were pretty good. And they've really held tight to that, and they have been pretty good. And you got to watch, see what they do next week.
And I think Ruston, if I'm not mistaken, Ruston has Ash next week, if I'm not mistaken. They're 7-0, and they rolled tonight.
Doesn't get much easier. In another battle, 2 teams undefeated going into tonight. The Vermilion Catholic gets a 49-27 win over Ascension Episcopal. And you know, out there in Lafayette, maybe not a couple of teams you hear about a whole lot.
What was that final?
49-27 Vermilion Catholic. I believe I would wonder the stats on, is it D'Artes?
Yeah.
Out there.
Jonathan D'Artes. We're going to try to talk to Coach Brock Prejean tonight. That's a 32-game regular win streak for Vermilion Catholic. Both of these teams came in at 6-0 also. So good win for Vermilion Catholic.
Elsewhere, we had Catholic High here in Baton Rouge getting the better of Central tonight, 35-17. And out in New Orleans, the score I had written down, just one or two to to mention a 4 overtime game with Legacy High out of Texas and St. Charles here out of the River Parish area, New Orleans area. Legacy High wins in 4 overtimes, 34-28. Carr over Jesuit tonight, 21-9. This was interesting going into tonight. I don't know how this game played out. It felt like it was pretty close early on, but Carr did come away with the win.
Low scoring game. At halftime, it was really, really tight. Let me see if I have the halftime score. It kind of surprised me when I first saw it. I'm like, geez, that one, 14-7. No, it's 14-7 at the end of the third. Carr's been rolling up 42 a game or so, something like that. I thought the Central Catholic game was a good game. I thought there was more points scored than what I had anticipated.
Especially with those two defenses.
Right.
Yeah.
But I thought Catholic High did a really, really good job of rotating personnel and still going with up-tempo. It caused Central some problems. They couldn't get their cleats in the ground quick enough before Catholic could get the snaps off, and I thought that was a huge difference in the ball game.
And we talked about this a little bit if you were listening during the radio-only portion, but through some acts over the last week or so, the LHSA felt it important enough to issue a memo on Wednesday about sportsmanship. There's new weekly sportsmanship updates. They're going to be sent to schools through the Coaches Association, to the coaches, to all member schools, social media messaging, and very strict rules enforcement by the Officials Association. Just another thing to monitor. But, guys, we were talking amongst each other, preparing for the show this week, saw some of the things happening out there with EA and Sanoma. Really just way too far. I know that the other story is the games that were forfeited and stuff like that. We talked about that with North Vermilion. But, it's – I don't know. It's
let Todd tell you about the Sanoma EA stuff.
That's crazy.
What can the LHSA do about when kids are getting chased down, tased with cattle prods, and shot?
For rolling a house.
For rolling a house. And they got pictures. This was a Facebook post.
Right.
And they got pictures of these kids. I mean, I'm not laughing. I'm laughing how stupid it is. But, I mean, you're just toilet paper rolling a house, TPing or whatever you call it. But, Jesus. I mean, cattle prod for roll. I mean, you wonder where the kids get it from.
It is the TP and the thing that's been around for years. I mean, years and years, decades.
Tradition.
Why get so upset? I don't
know. It's kind of similar to when Alabama loses to Auburn and they shoot each other with cousins. I mean, like cousins will shoot each other. I mean, this is ridiculous. That adults kind of partake, and they're not very smart. I mean, I could see being funny and chasing them, but not actually shooting them or
scare them a little bit.
Yeah, scare them a little bit. Matter of fact, that'd be kind of fun.
We're very close to spooky season and scary season, so,
How's General Trask doing in Transylvania?
Transylvania, yeah. The scariest place in the state. We'll take some more updates coming up here in just a bit, and as we mentioned, we'll be speaking with some great coaches throughout the night. But let's get you first caught up on some of our scores. We'll go around the state, all 5 regions. We'll start first in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
West Feliciana 35, Bruley 28, Catholic 35, Central 17, Dutchtown over Denham 27-13, Sandoval 17-12 over East Ascension, and Woodlawn 33, Scotlandville 15.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, presented by Investar Bank.
Riverside over West St. John 41-6. Shaw defeats Walker 59-14. Destrehan over Captain Shreve in a shootout 46-42. Carr is a 21-9 winner over Jesuit. Terrebonne 42, East St. John 8. Belle Chase defeats Patterson 44-6. In 4 overtimes, Legacy High in Texas 34, St. Charles 28, and John Curtis 17, Brother Martin 14.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, fueled by frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Karen Crow 37, Sam Houston 27. Kaplan a 40-20 winner over Southern Lab. Notre Dame defeats Lafayette Christian 42-28. Vermilion Catholic 49, Ascension Episcopal 27, Cecilia all over Beauchene 71-0, Erath 43, Berwick 7, and Iowa 47, Washington Marion 12.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard. Pumped by Peak Performance.
Neville over Ruston 26-21. Airline defeats Houghton 56-13. Mangum a 26-20 winner over Oak Grove. West Monroe 15-13 winner over Ouachita. Red River 30, Lakeside 6. Calvary a 24-15 winner over Union Parish. West Ouachita 48, Tioga 26, and Evangel 33-32 winner over Benton.
The North Shore Scoreboard. Connected by Rev.
Lakeshore 42, Pearl River 21, Covington a 7-6 winner over Slidell, and Kentwood over Independence 56-6.
Don't have time for a stomach virus?
I don't have time to be sick today.
When you're sick after hours or weekends, you don't have time to wait around. Save time and money and feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our number one priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacterial, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Mahaffey from Walker High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Katie, Todd, and Jimmy on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care, Kate Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. And let's go to the hotline. We got Coach Robert Valdez from St. Augustine. They host Rummel on Saturday inside that very tough District 9-5A we were just talking about. Always tough to play, but always great to have Coach Valdez on the line. Coach, welcome back to the show.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
It's been a while, Coach.
Man, it's been a while. You know, it's always fun to come around.
How do you like being back in high school?
It's fun. I tell you what, I miss it. It's a great opportunity, and just it feels right.
Well, look, man, we talked a little bit yesterday, and for those that have been under a rock, Coach Valdez is now at St. Aug, and you know, we talked a little bit, but that's a special place at St. Aug. They've had some great athletes, and you know, they hadn't had the championships they want, but that's your mindset. That's what you're going to do, and that's what you plan on doing, and that's the administration. I saw some pictures yesterday on your Facebook that looked like, you know, they're supporting not only you but the athletics, and you got to be excited about that.
It's awesome. It's you know, it's a tremendous opportunity. I'm a New Orleans boy, and got a chance to come back. And then, you know, saying all administration, everything that we talked about when we talked about this possibility has come to fruition. And you know, it's a tremendous leadership from our president, Austin Taylor, and our principal, Mr. Cam Bryce, and our ADs. But it's just a great opportunity that we have. And, you know, getting back and being a head coach, I missed it. Kind of missed being the guy in charge to take all the blame.
Coach, I'm looking at this locker room right now. It looks a little better than probably what you had at Grambling when you were coaching up there.
Most definitely. I tell you, this is the vision that these people had at St. Augustine is just, you know, building something that our kids could be really, really proud of. And our locker room, the entire we call it wellness center, and we just pretty much have everything that we need to just be able to maximize and build a program. And, you know, now we got to keep up with the Jones.
Go ahead. Coach, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, we thought we lost you there for a second.
No.
When I ran into you at the coaches' social back in the end of the summer, right before practices kicked off, you said you thought y'all were a year away from getting to where you want to be and even going further than that. But do you still feel that way?
Well, you know, it's crazy because we're young. We're young, but our kids, they compete, man. And they come to work. They come to fight. And the way this thing's going, you just never know. Our district is extremely difficult. I mean, we've lost a card. This is probably one of the best, most talented ball coaches in the state. We lost to Jesuit 24-23 last week, which is, you know, this type of games that we play in the Catholic League. You know, we have Rummel tomorrow. And, you know, just every game, you know, it seems like we have a possibility and opportunity to win. So, but I think in a year or so, once we kind of get established with our facilities and the things that we have in place, I think we'll be able to put a little bit more of a sustainable, polished product.
Coach, talk a little bit about your team more specifically. Like you mentioned, Jimmy and I were just talking in Cade about how your district and, of course, Neville and Ouachita and Ruston district are how it's brutal every single week. But, you know, getting to prepare your kids for that, how difficult is that? Because you just don't have a week off mentally or physically.
Well, I think that the big testament to our kids is just the attrition that we've gone through because of the renovations and the facility improvements. You know, just real testament to our coaches and our players. I mean, we leave campus every day. We take about a 15-minute drive to practice at Pontchartrain Park, which is a little bit away from campus. You know, our original workout facility is outside. You know, people don't understand. You know, everybody think that, oh, you're the academy or St. Aug, but we have to go through some growing pains because our practice field is getting worked on as well. So, you know, just being able to have the things that other people have in place and play the way we've been playing is a testament to our kids' resolve.
You've got an outstanding play, though, from your quarterback. He's a junior, Vashon, was it Coulon?
Coulon.
There you go. He's played well for you.
He's, he's a fantastic kid to coach. He is straight academic, hard-working kid. And then, he takes command of the team and the offense. And we meet at 6:30 in the morning. He's there. He beats me. But he's picked up on what we're trying to do. He distributes the ball well, and he manages the game. And he gives us a tremendous opportunity.
Coach, you've had a lot of success at a lot of different places, and we think the world of you. And, you had a situation earlier this season and with someone who transferred. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday because I really respect the fact that you're going to do things the way you do. And I feel like it's important, not just at your program, but all across the state, that we can't let the tail wag the dog and let kids have control of transferring when they want to. Talk a little bit about your situation a little bit and how you handled it.
Well, I think that it was, like I said, again, the testament to the leadership that we have. St. Augustine has been in existence for over 74 years. We have about 34 guys who are alumni that made it to the NFL. And we have more doctors, lawyers, and people in business. We build leaders. But it was a situation where we were being asked to circumvent our values and our beliefs. And it just didn't feel like that was what we needed to do. And we just can't open up Pandora's door because we're never going to be able to close it. So we stood our ground as an institution that builds leaders and with a Catholic education, and we just decided that this is who we are, and this is what we stand for, and we're going to do what everybody else has done. And that's not what he wanted, and so we moved on. But we're going to hold on to our values, and we think that is a testament to my administration, our team, that we just held the rope.
I'm going to say this. Without mentioning any names. One, a kid that has only played 2 years of high school, going on to play a defensive line position, I would venture to say he is not ready to play college football. I don't care if he was number one player in the country or not. That's man against young boys still. And then also, I think what happens a lot of times, and I don't know the situation. You may can comment on you if you want, but I'm going to say I would be willing to bet you, Todd, that somebody that this guy considers a mentor that doesn't have the kid's best interest at heart, that has his pocket at heart, is probably leading this guy in the wrong direction. I may be wrong, but that's just my guess.
Coach, I hadn't talked to Jimmy. I hadn't talked to Jimmy about this, by the way, so that was just straight off the top of his head.
Give me some lottery numbers, man. You dead on.
I've seen it before, and I did not know that, and I don't even know if you want to comment. You don't have to. That's just my gut feeling.
I think that nowadays, guys, mismanagement and opportunistic people are in place, and we choose the high road, and we just choose all our young men. We want to mentor them. We want to, the guys that we put out. And I'm just so glad I was reading that Sash Preston is healed up and he's going to suit up and play for Tulane tomorrow. Played for me at St. James. And that's the thing. I've had kids out of Alabama, LSU, all over the country, and they did it right. And they did it the right way, and they finished. And, so like I said, the advice that some people are getting in societal ills and trying to get to place quicker and speed up these things, we're going to try as best we can to do it right at St. Hall.
Well, Coach, and there's a handful of people. If I had my son had the opportunity to go to the next level and play, there's a handful of coaches that I would let him play for and be totally confident that he's going to be taken care of, and you're one of them. And I'm not saying anything about any other coach. I'm just saying that that's how much we respect you and think that you do things on the up and up. and do things the right way. And ultimately, you're here to do what's best for the kids, and you're going to do that. And if my son comes to St. Aug, you can have him and beat him and do whatever you need to do. I don't think he's got that speed, though.
That's okay. It's all good. You know, he's going to have a head coach that dances at homecoming and has a good time with everybody. My knees got to get ice because they got me dancing today because we're La Pepper.
He does it all. Coach Robert Valdez over at St. Aug. Coach, thanks so much for a couple of minutes with us tonight. Best of luck tomorrow in your district with Rummel.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
You know, I can speak for all of us there when we heard Coach Valdez was going to be the coach for the Purple Knights. You know, immediately your first thought is, boy, things are going to start getting a little more competitive. That's a very proud program, from basketball, track, football, the band, everything involved. And knowing how competitive that district is, you add somebody of his pedigree in there, all of a sudden just makes it a little more.
When you go look at it for the last, 10 years. We've been doing this 14 now, but for the last several years, when you saw St. Aug get off the bus and you saw East Ascension get off the bus, they were as good looking as any team that you saw. Mm-hmm. And both schools have underachieved in that period of time. And I can promise, and Coach Valdez had his pick between both of those schools, let's be honest. But he's gonna turn that program around at St. Aug.
You really scratch your head sometimes, and you think about him and Coach Levante Davis, who are both at Scotlandville together, and both had the opportunity to head coach at Scotlandville, ran them both off.
Yeah, thank you. And look at them now. Look at them. You talk about a team that's a total turnaround, going from 100 kids down to 30, 45 kids, something like that now. Doesn't even look like the same program.
We'll continue. More coaches coming your way throughout the night, and some very interesting landmarks set tonight. So we'll talk about that. But first, let's get caught up on scores from around the state. And Skip has them. We'll start first in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
West Feliciana over Bruley, 35-28. Catholic is a 35-17 winner over Central. Dutchtown defeats Denham Springs 27-13. Santa Maula over East Ascension 17-12. St. James defeats McDonough 35, 26-9. Plaquemine over St. Michael 61-28. And Woodlawn 33, Scotlandville 15.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, presented by Investar Bank.
Riverside 41, West St. John 6. Shaw defeats Walker 59-14. Destrehan over Captain Shreve 46-42. Edna Card 21, Jesuit 9. Terrebonne 42 to East St. John 8. Belle Chase is a 44-6 winner over Patterson. In 4 overtimes, Legacy High out of Texas defeats St. Charles 34-28. And John Curtis 17, Brother Martin 14.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, fueled by frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Karen Crow defeats Sam Houston 37-27. Kaplan over Southern Lab 40-20. Notre Dame defeats Lafayette Christian 42-28. Vermilion Catholic 49, Ascension Episcopal 27. Cecilia blanks Beauchene 71-0. Erath is a 43-7 winner over Berwick. And Iowa defeats Washington Marion 47-12.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Neville over Ruston 26-21. Airline defeats Houghton 56-13. Mangum a 26-20 winner over Oak Grove. West Monroe 15, Ouachita 13. Red River defeats Lakeside 30-6. Calvary over Union Parish 24-15. West Ouachita 48, Tioga 26. And Evangel is a 33-32 winner over Benton.
The North Shore Scoreboard, connected by Rev.
Lakeshore over Pearl River 42-21. Covington defeats Slidell 7-6. Kentwood 56-6 winner over Independence. And Laranger 50, Hannon 49.
Hi, I'm John D'Angelo, founder and CEO of Investar Bank. Here at Investar, we're about building lasting relationships, making the right moves, and catering to your needs because you are the heartbeat of our local community. Come on over and experience the Investar difference. Visit us anytime, any place, in person or online. And tell them that John sent you. Fans burgers are ready. Investar. Investar.
Don't have time for cold or flu?
I don't have time for the cold or the flu.
We're here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. When you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Do you think you have COVID-19?
I'm worried I may have COVID.
We're open 7 days a week for both rapid COVID and antibody testing. Life is busy. You don't
Making the bus ride back home better since 2011. The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. And boy, I tell you what, BSN Sports, we talk about them, the best supply network in sports all the time. And as the weather gets a little cooler, you can rock the quarter sips like we got. Something to keep in mind, I saw on their website today, not only the equipment and the uniforms, but if you need that branding for your school, maybe it's a media backdrop, maybe it's a table skirt for something, maybe it's the flags that kind of go along the sidewalk when you're walking up to the stadium or to the gym. Maybe it's the ones that are attached to the light poles, but it's always good to kind of improve your school's branding, and BSN is another avenue where you can get that taken care of. So really, that's why they're the best supply network for a reason. bsnsports.com. Efforting a couple of coaches right now, and hopefully we'll get connected with Coach David Oliver tonight. The rivalry game with Santa Ma and EA is he on or he's not?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
Try the next one, Ryan.
Yeah. That one, by the way, it was a 17-12 win for Santa Ma. I don't know how many in a row. I know the Gators won last year. But Coach Brock Mathern, look, I appreciate everyone in the pregame show. We had Brittany Rose from 100.7 The Tiger talking with Coach Brock Mathern. We had Jimmy who talked to Coach Oliver. It's a big deal out there every year. Got to experience it for my first time last year, and this will be the first of many for Coach Mathern as he tries to get the Spartans back on track. So,
Coach Oliver called me the other day. Maybe he was trying to call you back. I don't know. But when I called him, he just ghosted me.
He's hard to get in touch with sometimes. We'll see if we can get Brock Prejean from Vermilion Catholic on. Let's see if we can get him.
Another undefeated team who gets a win tonight over another undefeated team.
Had a Thursday night game over in that area. Iota and Westlake. Iota moves to 6-1. Westlake falls to 5-2. Iota wins at 28-27. Westlake was trailing 28-21, faced a 4th and 1 on the +8. With 3:46 left, Westlake scores the touchdown. Then they missed the extra point at the end of the game to lose it. Iota's quarterback, Peyton Renfro, threw for 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. Running back Connor Frugier had 11 carries, 71 yards. Westlake quarterback Brody Anderson threw for 214 yards. Not a lot of big schedule on Thursday night. Zachary was a local winner over Liberty, which we kind of expected, but not a big schedule.
Going back up to Monroe, I do want to make mention of this because we've talked about it. I don't think we've talked about it on this show yet, but in the offseason, Neville lost a player in Tarver Braddock. He's a baseball player, also a football player. Well, when, Neville went to Ruston tonight. Ruston honored Tarver Braddock before the game, and it's just kind of, you have rivalries, but there's so much respect. Between those two schools. I thought that was obviously a very class act, not surprising from Coach Jared Bob, but on that night, Tarver Braddock's cousin Thomas Campbell had 6 receptions for 100 yards on the night, and I think if I'm reading this correctly, 2 touchdowns as well. But
going into that game, Todd, people wondered that he was the outlier, the Campbell kid, which is Will's brother. They worried about how they were going to be able to defend him at a tight end. Tight end, if you have a good one and a legit one, it creates so many mismatches defensively, and they were able to use him tonight. And
well, especially if you can split him out, right? Because you can't package him. If he comes in and he's tight, and then he can go out and split, he really causes problems, and that's what he was able to do. Caught a big seam pass on one of the last drives down. But, it goes back to what high school football is really all about. And ultimately, it's a very competitive game. Neville Ruston, you can't, get much better than that. But, Coach Jared Baugh and those guys recognizing Tarver Braddock and his family.
I did see a couple things. I did see that on the Neville broadcasts, their scoreboard on the screen is presented by the Tarver Braddock Foundation. So they have that foundation, in his memory, which is fantastic. This was the 99th meeting of these schools, and now Neville leads that series 56-45-3. So just want to point that out for Coach Black.
No,
all of these games the last 5 years, it's now tied 3-3 in the 6 years, and every one, I think the largest margin of victory was 6 points, and tonight was 5. Everything's been right there going down to the bitter end.
Fantastic football.
Again, in North Louisiana, while we're talking about it, while we're waiting on the coach, West Monroe again, 15-13 winner over Ouachita Parish. They go to 4-3. Huntington Parkway, I have not seen a final on that one yet. Calvary defeated Union. Union started out the year 0-3, but they had, those was the North DeSoto Ash and Airline. They won state, the last several years. They played in the state championship 4 times, won it the last year after going 0-3. Mangum Oak Grove, both teams 5-1 going into this one. Oak Grove pulls it out at the end, scored real late to win 26-20. That's a good win for Oak Grove. They have Calvary, I think, coming up in their district. No, who is it in their district? Todd, is it? Oak Grove's got like a 3-game stretch there. Mangum had just beat Faraday. That was a good win for them. But Oak Grove, they're averaging 52.7 a game. They're allowing 18.7, but they've won 4 out of the last 5 state titles. They move up in classifications. That's going to be the difference this year. Can they continue to do it? But they got the big kid Jackson Bradley at quarterback, Louisiana Tech commit. He's been phenomenal, 6'3", 215, good runner, good thrower, really good tight end that we talk about, that can create mismatches. And J.T. Layton, he's a 6'4", 225 guy. You have a wide receiver in Brody Stewart, 6'4", 170. He's also a state champion in the triple jump. So they have some athletes still at Oak Grove.
And they got Faraday next week, and then they have Madison, and they close out the year against Washita Christian.
Okay, Washita Christian, week 10, that's right.
Man, we're already talking about week 10?
But, we haven't talked at all. This is week 7.
Mm-hmm.
This is really the week that the coaches, after tonight, tomorrow morning, they won't look at it tonight, but tomorrow when they're starting to
put some math together,
they're going to start looking at the power rankings. That's right. And if you start looking before that, you're going to drive yourself crazy. And even if you start looking this week, you're going to still drive yourself crazy. But I can promise you they're going to start taking a peek at it this week.
And I don't want to beleaguer this point too much, but that's why you want to get that game. It stinks for a team to not be able to get that game. Do you get any points in a forfeit situation? Do you get?
Yeah,
you
get 10 points and whatever
you get
they
10
won.
plus whatever they
Yeah.
win.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think Jimmy was saying you hurt the kids more along the lines of just not being able to play a game.
Yeah, especially seniors,
not
last opportunity. Yeah. All right. So we'll have some more coaches coming your way in just a bit. Another round of scores coming up in about 4 minutes from right now. We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back. This is the Week 7 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and your view.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our number one priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacterial, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 7.
Now back to the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Scoreboard ticker throughout the night at the bottom of the screen if you're watching us on YourView or the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. But let's go ahead and jump on the hotline as we've got a victorious head coach, David Oliver, joining us as Santa Maria gets that win over their rival tonight, 17-12. It's Santa Maria over East Ascension. Coach Oliver, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having us on.
Well, Coach, man, I've got to say, you called me the other day. I called you back.
Yeah, I gave you the information you needed, didn't I?
Oh, you got Jimmy and I confused, I guess.
You got me.
I'm the good-looking one.
I got you.
Hey, Coach O, you got to be really proud of your team, man. You had a tough loss at Dutchtown, but you came right back against Walker and really looked good. And then a big rivalry game tonight, and you pulled that one out. So you got to be really proud of how your team's just really hung through adversity.
Yeah, I'm extremely pleased. We came out the gates against Dutchtown 21-0 and found a way to lose that game, and we came out this one 14-0 and found a way to win. So I'm extremely excited.
Coach, tell us a little bit about your team. Obviously Cooper Babin started playing about halfway through the year last year after coming back from an injury. He's your leader at quarterback. And then Timothy Johnson seems to be the go-to guy at your wide receivers.
Yeah, and that's, we kind of, those are the two guys that would stand out to you. But we're kind of like a team of, there's no superstars. Everyone just kind of does their role. We've had quite a few injuries, and we're breaking in. Sometimes I look up on defense. We got 6 sophomores out there, so we're working through some kinks. But I wish we would learn how to play for 48 minutes, but we just don't have it in us right now. But we were able to make the lead hold up tonight.
Talk about Caleb Briggs. When we saw him last year, he was really impressive at the cornerback spot, and he's a year older.
Yeah, he's I tell you what, he's extremely long and has great size for a corner, and we don't hesitate at all to match him up against the other team's best receiver, and he's played great all year.
I like what you did with your schedule. Last year we kind of gave you a little bit of a hard time, and we joked about it at the Santa Maria game on the sideline before that, but I like what you did with it. Did you have a reason besides us just dogging you out about it?
No, but I thought it was time to change, try something a little bit different. We played Bird, and they came to us this year. We're going to go next year, and we played Shaw in the scrimmage, which is great competition. And I just thought that would serve us well with a young team going into district, and I think it's helped us.
I'm going to talk a little bit about defense because you talked about Ricks, but I mean, you had a little bit of a change at the beginning of the year, but your defense has really played well, played pretty consistent throughout the year. And, of course, when it comes down to it, we know that defense ultimately wins you the ball game. So talk about a little bit of those guys.
Oh, man, they have played well, and they played great tonight. They just gutted it out. Like I said, we got up about 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. We're up 14-0. We had scored on a we had a long pass on the first play, like 78 yards, got it down to the 2 and then scored. And then they fumbled the kickoff, and we were able to punch that in. And so it's 14-zip, and the final score is 17-12. So for the rest of the game, the defense made that hold up, and it was a kind of a sloppy game. I think each team had 4 turnovers and a bunch of penalties, but they've played great all year. And like I said, there's a coordinator change, and we kind of had to find our footing, but we found it, and we're very comfortable with the way they're playing right now.
Coach, each week we feature at least one student athlete of the week. State Farm presents our student athlete of the week. Agents Drew Dillio, Brian Moe, Byron Gill, and Mitch Mueller do that for us. And this week, your linebacker, Evan Williams, was selected a GPA of 4.58. He's a LHSAA composite All-State. He's never made a B in high school. He's very active in his community and in his church. Tell us what Evan Williams brings not only to Santa Maria football, but also to the school in itself.
Well, he brings a lot of leadership and intensity. Now he had a couple of personal fouls tonight, but it's hard. They're effort penalties, and that's completely different than a sportsmanlike conduct penalty. And we pair him up with Wes Dykes, who's coach's son, and those guys inside, they really are like coaches on the field and really do a good job of putting the defense in the right place. And like I said, I can't say enough about our defense. They've been with us all year, and we've been in a lot of close games, and they're the reason that we're pulling these out at the end.
Coach Oliver, as coaches, we have a lot of influences on our kids, and I noticed that Jimmy said his GPA is 4.58. How do you get to be a 4.58 since you're the influence on that?
Well, it just tells you that the kid has taken a lot of honors in advanced placement classes, and never had it, and still never had a B in high school. So
you can add Jimmy and I's GPA up, and we ain't getting a 4.58.
No, that's right. That's right. And also we want to mention from East Ascension, Deron McZeal. He has a GPA of 4.5, 25 on his ACT. Dual sport player, plays basketball, plays everywhere for East Ascension. DB, wide receiver, returns kicks, punts. So also want to mention Deron McZeal. Congratulations to both of them.
Yeah, and I would like to just say for EA, they got to be sick because I think Coach Mathern did a great job. They played for 48 minutes just like our kids, and they had a couple golden opportunities down the stretch and dropped a few passes that might have changed the outcome of the game. So maybe they'll regroup and be able to win a few down the stretch and sneak in the playoffs there.
Well, Coach, we always appreciate our time to catch up with you, and thanks so much. We wish you the best luck continuing on into Week 8.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. Long time ago, my wife and I made the decision to move out to Ascension Parish because of the schools, and we've been so pleased with what we've gotten between Prairieville Primary all the way up to Bouillon to Bluff Middle to Prairieville Middle and to Dutchtown, and to see these kids and excelling with their GPAs and Ascension Parish schools just are really a solid group, and it's a good choice to move out that way. But Coach Oliver and Coach Mathern just not getting his feet under him at EA do a great job. And
Prairieville's going to be up and coming.
But
really good school.
And their baseball program, we're going to see where it may go.
Put pressure on their baseball program.
I think we need to do
that.
I've
already heard that Prairieville's baseball program is going to run the district this year in week 1.
In season 1.
In year 1.
Wow.
That's the word on the street.
Wow. All right.
And that's unfortunately that's on demand if you'd like to hear that again.
That's
right. Jimmy Roy said that, just to make sure. Look, always appreciate Coach Oliver and catching up with him, and that atmosphere is really second to none in the state when you consider rivalry and what that means for those two schools. Coach Mathern getting a chance to see that for the first time, and that's probably part of what draws you to be a part of a community like that, an atmosphere like that, where you don't get it in too many places.
Look, I can speak personal experience between Neville and Ruston since that happened. I know when we got there on the bus when it was my senior year, our stands, it was already full. They had already opened it. It was full, and we hadn't even gotten there yet. But that type of excitement and that type of pressure, and all eyes are on you, but it's fun. It's really fun to play in and definitely coach in too, because we had it with Parkview and Redemptorist.
One of the best atmospheres I remember was Lutcher in the quarterfinals, especially I think it was the year before you came. It was the year we won state. And,
Okay.
and it was 2005. We played them in the quarters. They were really good.
The Doghouse?
They were really good. We played them at Redemptorist. LSU played Arkansas. Everybody was lined up down the streets watching the game. And when they opened the gates a little early, and within 5 minutes, it was completely full. And the next day, you go back under there, and all the whiskey and bourbon bottles under the lunch side.
Maybe they had some Evan Williams.
It was an incredible atmosphere to play in.
You notice there was a hydration station at that St. Aug.
I did notice that. I did.
They do.
You got to stay hydrated. All right, so we'll take a timeout. Hour 2 of the Week 7 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Coming your way next, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Your View.
Don't have time for a new rash?
I don't have time for this.
We're here to help with convenient virtual visits on your computer or any mobile device. If you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy.
Welcome back to hour 2 of the Week 7 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, Jimmy Roy. Our cast of thousands, we got Ryan, we got Henry, we got Skip back there. And coming up in just a couple minutes, we'll have a chance to sit down with Victoria's head coach, Sid Edwards. They get the win, Estruma does, over Broadmoor tonight. But more importantly, it's a big milestone for Coach Edwards, his 200th career win. So we want to speak with Coach Edwards about tonight, and I'm sure these guys will have a lot to talk to with Coach. But let's get you caught up first. We'll go around the state, and we'll start here in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
West Feliciana over Burley, 35-28. Catholic is a 35-17 winner over Central. Dutchtown defeats Denham Springs, 27-13. Santa Maria over East Ascension, 17-12. White Castle's a 44-43 winner over North Iberville. St. James defeats McDonough 35, 26-9. Plaquemine is a 61-28 winner over St. Michael. And Woodlawn over Scotlandville, 33-15.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, presented by Investar Bank.
Riverside 41, West St. John 6. Shaw's a 59-14 winner over Walker. Destrehan defeats Captain Shree 46-42. Edna Card 21, Jesuit 9. Terrebonne 42-8 winner over East St. John. Belle Chase defeats Patterson 44-6. In 4 overtimes, Legacy High out of Texas 34, St. Charles 28, and John Curtis 17, Brother Martin 14.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, fueled by frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Karen Crow's a 37-27 winner over Sam Houston. Kaplan defeats Southern Lab 40-20. Notre Dame is a 42-28 winner over Lafayette Christian. Vermilion Catholic 49, Ascension Episcopal 27. Cecilia all over Beauchene 71-0. Erath is a 43-7 winner over Berwick. And Iowa 47, Washington Marion 12.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Neville's a 26-21 winner over Ruston. Airline defeats Houghton 56-13. Mangum defeats Oak Grove 26-20. West Monroe 15, Ouachita 13. Red River 30, Lakeside 6. Calvary's a 24-15 winner over Union Parish. West Ouachita 48, Tioga 26. And Evangel 33, Benton 32.
The North Shore Scoreboard, connected by Rev.
Lakeshore 42, Pearl River 21. Covington 7-6 winner over Slidell. North Lake Christian 27, Pope John Paul 21. Kentwood's a 56-6 winner over Independence. And Laranger over Hannon 50-49.
Thanks so much to Skip getting our scores tonight.
That Oak Grove scores backwards.
Okay, go ahead and we'll make that sure.
Oak Grove wins 26-20.
All right.
Told you, score screen just whack. Sometimes.
We are not.
That's right.
So you get your scores here, and I'll give you one that you might have heard. 31-0 tonight. Estruma over Broadmoor. Coach Sid Edwards gets the win with Estruma, and in the process, Coach earns his 200th career victory. Coach Sid Edwards joins us now. Coach, congratulations, and thanks so much for spending some time with us here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard.
Hey, fellas. Good to hear from y'all.
Coach, are you out politicking?
I am.
You are.
I am.
He's at an event, so he stepped out to talk to us. So, Coach, 200 win. I know you're going to give every bit of credit to the players, the coaches, the administrators, former and past and present, just everybody. I know that's the type of person you are, but 200 wins is one hell of a achievement, and it's an honor to get to know you over the years and watching the way you do things. I think you really transformed the way that coaches coach in the Baton Rouge area. You are ahead of your time doing boot camp and doing some of the ways that you practiced and things like that now a lot of teams have adopted, and a lot of your assistants have went on to have a lot of success also.
Well, thank you, and you are correct. The credit goes to so many people. I try to tell people I didn't win any of those games. You know, it was good assistant coaches and really good kids. And now I'm blessed. You know, the big thing, Jimmy, that the only thing that got me emotional, because I haven't been thinking a lot about it, is the fact that it came in the 70805, where the first one came. And to be able to do it for this community and these kids and be a part of it, special.
I know 200 wins, it's important. I mean, let's face it, it's an honor to get it, but I think you would agree with me that you've probably touched over 2,000 lives and changed over the years, and that number's probably bigger to you than the 200 wins.
I will take credit for that, because that's what God put me on earth to do, man. I just use football. You know, I fool kids for 200 wins that it's about football. It's about, so much more. You know, our mantra's always been it's more than 10 Friday nights. And I just don't measure myself by it. And let me say this to the people listening, especially like some of the other EBR schools, Coach Ware at Tara, Coach Wade, who was at Bel Air, Coach Yasser, who we played at Broadmoor tonight, Glen Oaks, and schools like that. A lot of those schools don't have the resources some other schools have, and that's what we're trying to do, man. We're just trying to lead these young men in the right direction.
Coach, when was it in your life you realized you wanted to coach, or you were put here to coach?
Well, it's hard to believe, but I started coaching when I was 16 years old, a neighborhood softball team with my sisters. And after about 3 or 4 years of doing that, St. Jared Elementary needed a 3rd and 4th grade football coach, and nobody would take it. Well, I didn't know anything about football. I never played football. I ain't crazy. And so I got with Milton Broussard, longtime Baker defensive coordinator, lived across the street from me, and his son Bubba. I went to go say, man, look, they want me to coach football, but I don't know nothing. And we went to the Pizza Hut on Airline, and he drew up 4 or 5 plays, and that's how I got started and got hooked.
His first star player was Jenny Smith, or
that's
Jenny,
right.
You would know her as Jenny Caballero, Nay's sister.
Wow.
Scott Smith, Josh Smith's mom played for Coach Sid way back in the day.
Yeah,
So all the Beach Street boys.
She was a better athlete than Josh, I promise you.
Well, we know he didn't get it from his dad. I can promise you that part.
You got that right.
Well, Coach, a little bit about this team. Obviously, Kyrie Paul is the star of it. Who would you compare him to?
Man, the best comparison, over the years, people would say, hey, here comes the next Warwick Dunn. And I never really seen that happen. But he is as close to Warwick as I've coached, and probably, remember David Plaisance?
Yes.
Similar.
Okay.
And look, Lord knows we had some great ones, some great tailbacks and skill guys, all the way from Jay Lucas to R-Dog.
Shelton Sampson.
I mean, we've had some really good ones. But Kyrie is an explosive football player.
And you were waiting to get some kids eligible last time I talked to you. Has that happened yet?
It has. We played the scrimmage, the jamboree, and the first 4 football games with 26 kids, and we survived it. And I've got, I think it's up to 6 or 7 eligible that were waiting on their eligibility, and now they're with us.
And that changes your team right there.
It does.
No doubt.
It does. And, at Estruma, like your freshmen, you really don't know who they are till school starts. And I got 2 young men starting out there that are 9th graders that, heck, when we played the first 2 games, I didn't know who they were. You know, and they came in and got their eligibility. So, yeah, we're dressing right over 40 now.
Well, Coach, I know you're busy, and we're not going to keep you too long, but we had to have you on tonight. It's a milestone. I mean, like I said, you know, when I went to Redemptorist my first year and started coaching with Guy Mastretta, he really changed the way I thought about the way programs should be run and changed my outlook on sports completely. And you were the one who taught him, along with his dad, Bucky Mastretta, who we also have a lot of respect for. But, look, on behalf of not only Cade, Todd, and myself, but all the coaches in Baton Rouge, thank you for what you've done. It's been an honor, and hopefully you got another 100 or so in you if you can be the mayor and coach at the same time. I don't know if that's going to be possible.
Well, let me say this. You see, my campaign budget, I can't compare it to the other 2 top candidates. They got millions of dollars, man. I got $38 for boudin balls from Tony's, but I'm going to tell you something. This is free radio. So all you listeners, you vote for Sid Edwards.
That's right.
Hey, it's real. So, hey, y'all go give me that vote, and you're about to see Baton Rouge turn out.
There you go, Coach. Congratulations, man, and thank you.
God bless y'all.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach Sid Edwards there from Estruma.
I did see that note. I mean, like the campaign, one of them had X amount of dollars, and Sid Edwards,
yeah, one's got one over $1 million, one of them 600 and something thousand. He's got about 75,000 raised total.
Well, I tell you what, this, you know, it needs an overhaul. It needs a change. So
and look,
he's a great one to do.
And I'm not politicking for Sid, but the one thing that separates Sid from a lot of people, it doesn't matter how rich you are, how poor you are. It doesn't matter whether you're white or black or Hispanic or whatever. He can adapt to any situation he's in. He's good with any race, religion, or whatever. He's going to make you feel like you've known him all your life. And, I mean, I'm being dead serious. He changed the way people coached in the Baton Rouge area. He thought outside the box. Mm-hmm. He thought of things that people never think of, little bitty minute things. He thinks of them, and that is kind of what has separated him. And some of the guys under him, Coach Brewerton, Coach Mastretta, Coach Weiner, who just won his 151st game now, I think it was, after their win tonight at Dunham. Joey Sanchez has some success. You can go on, but he's touched a lot of coaches' lives.
How many wins does he have? And this isn't even his first love. Basketball is his first love.
Basketball, he won a state championship. He won a state championship the same year in football and basketball at Redemption. Yeah,
does it work like PowerPoints where maybe you get a credit for some of the other wins your coaches have gotten as well along the way? No, but to it makes a great point. You guys always talk about your payday is years down the line when maybe you get an invitation to a wedding or you see something in the paper where one of your students becomes CEO of some company or has a family and they're doing great, or it's these coaches, if you're a coach like him, who have made their mark and are impacting lives the way he did, and it's just continuing on down the line, and that's the legacy that you want to leave. 200 wins is fantastic, and I'm not trying to overshadow that, but I think for somebody like Coach Edwards, it's beyond that. It's seeing what happens years and years down the road.
And people really don't, they don't understand what he's been through in his family life with his sons. He has 2 kids that are autistic, and that's a handful. And what made him decide to run for the mayor's race was one of his players was shot on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, just at a park.
It's for there's no ulterior motive like there may be for other people. He's just wanting to better Baton Rouge, period. Right. End of story.
Yep.
So there you go. 200 wins and counting for Coach Sid Edwards over at Estruma. We'll take a timeout, and we'll continue on this Week 7 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard presented by Lake Urgent Care here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Your View.
Hi, I'm John D'Angelo, founder and CEO of Investar Bank. Here at Investar, we're about building lasting relationships, making the right moves, and catering to your needs because you are the heartbeat of our local community. Come on over and experience the InvestStar difference. Visit us anytime, any place, in person or online. And tell them that John sent you. Fans burgers are ready. InvestStar. InvestStar.
Don't have time for a stomach virus?
I don't have time to be sick today.
When you're sick after hours or weekends, you don't have time to wait around. Save time and money and feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our number one priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacterial, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction.
Coach Brandon Brown, the head football coach at Director East St. John High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy coming up a little bit later on tonight. Before we close things out, we'll have our helmet stickers to highlight some of tonight's top performers. Speaking of performing well, Destrehan gets the win tonight over Captain Shreve in another high-scoring game, 46-42. The Wildcats take care of business. Their head coach, Marcus Scott, joins us now. Coach, thanks so much for a couple of minutes, and congratulations on the win.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, I got to ask you, how was it watching tape over Captain Shreve's prior 2 games and charting their plays?
It gave us a headache. They were unbelievable.
It probably turned into an all-day event watching just those 2, as many snaps as
Oh,
they
my
took
God.
in those games. My gracious. And look, this one here, this one came down to Destrehan getting a stop on the 4-yard line right there, maybe the last play of the game.
Yeah, it turned out to be a goal line stand to win the game. So super proud of the kids and the coaches for just staying with it. You know, we faced a lot of adversity this year, and we're starting to hopefully round into form as we get ready for the end of the district schedule and the playoff push.
Coach, let's start with Jackson Fields. You started going into the year, the New Orleans area MVP on offense as a sophomore last year, could really throw the football for you. He gets injured week 1 against Catholic High, missed 4 games. He came back last week. You are obviously, and look, we talked about your young freshman early in the year when he played his first game. He didn't even play a freshman game before he started his first varsity game. But with Jackson on the field, it makes you a different team.
Correct. I mean, Ashai Smith, a 14-year-old freshman, and we threw him in some pretty tough situations. You know, he had to play the first home game against Barnable, and then we had to bring him on the road against, Ash, which you all know how good of a program Ash is. And so, you know, he's done an outstanding job of really leading the group and, you know, just kind of bridging the gap until we got Jackson back. And, you know, whenever you have the passing leader in the metro area that's returning off of injury, you know, it really helps as it relates to certain things that we can do. We just didn't want to put a young kid in a lot of positions where we asking him to throw the ball down the field, you know, because you also have to balance the confidence of young players. So that's something that we had to do and just kind of manage it, and he did an outstanding job. And so now that we have Jackson back, we actually have the ability to run the ball, and then we can stretch it horizontally and vertically.
You know, Coach, I want to talk to you about, you mentioned earlier the adversity your team has faced this year. It also faced some last year. I wanted to, before we move on, ask about how you are and how your health is.
Well, I'm really well. God is good. Actually, I had a doctor's appointment this week, and everything came back fine as it relates to my blood work. And so very thankful. So many people have contributed to my recovery. And, you know, we just excited to have another shot at this life, you know.
That's the best news of the night, really.
Yep, absolutely. And so the good thing, too, I guess since you went to the doctor earlier this week, you have a goal line stand, so your heart's working well.
Yeah, well, barely.
Coach, your wide receiver group, Philip Wright committed to LSU, Johnny Thiel committed to Louisiana Tech. You have Greg Wilford and Jabari Mack, who I think are both juniors. Is there a better wide receiver group in the state?
Well, there's some pretty strong receiver groups around the state, and we faced a few of them. You know, we do a scrimmage against Carr in the spring. They have an outstanding group, but when we play together and they, you know, play to the kids' strengths, I mean, you know, it can be pretty hard to stop because they can stretch the field horizontally and vertically, like I mentioned earlier.
What would you like to see this is week 7, so with week 8, 9, and 10, what would you like to see your team improve on to get you in the direction you want to get in the playoffs?
Well, defensively, we need to get back to playing Destrehan defense. And that all starts with alignment and tackling. And, you know, the kids have been working really hard. We just have to make sure that we stay on them and keep improving from week to week. So I think if we can, you know, kind of get back to playing defense the way we have traditionally played, we'll be in good shape moving forward.
You know, a lot of people talk about, and he mentioned it, lining up correctly on defense. People don't understand how hard it is, or how much, if you are a half man off, you're supposed to be head up and you end up on the right shoulder. Or if you're supposed to be on the right shoulder and you're on the left shoulder, for just that one play, and it hits where it's supposed to hit, and they block it like they're supposed to, it's a touchdown. It's and as many formations as these offensive coordinators are giving you with tight ends and no tight ends and different looks, what's the strong side, what's not, and what are your calls as far as what are you determining the strength and things like that. It is a coach's nightmare to just line up right.
It is, and that's why we start every practice with a walkthrough. So we try to show them on the board, show them in film, and then we walk through it, and then we ask them to do it. And so, those 4 steps have to be executed each and every practice because, like you said before, these offensive coordinators are giving us so many formations and so many shifts and motions that, one mess up can lead to big plays.
Well, Coach Marcus Scott, our guest here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, we appreciate your time, Coach. We're glad to hear that you are doing better, as well as your team, and we look forward to talking with you down the road.
Thanks for having me, guys. Good night.
Thank you, Coach.
Destrehan in the District 8-5A this season, this is the first time now they've put 2 wins together. It's been back and forth, loss, win, loss, win. You go back to week 1 in the pouring rain against Catholic High in a game where Catholic High had a late score to win that ball game, 23-20.
Went on the road to Ash. Good
right.
game.
Yeah, I mean, you've played a tight ball game with Terrebonne, and so, Destrehan, very proud. River Parish area, Destrehan's the Hanvilles and stuff like that.
When do they play Hanville?
That's week 9.
Yep. Week 9. And also you mentioned that Destrehan lost their offensive coordinator who became the head coach at Hanville this year. So that was another change.
Yep. And now they are 4-3 on the season and 3-1 in District 8-5A play. So good to catch up with Coach, and always good to hear that he's doing
Good
well.
thing is they held Captain Shreve to 8 points under their season
average. That is below average for Captain Shreve.
Look,
tonight.
They scored 44. How many scored? They scored 44, and they were supposed to increase another one. You remember they've been on a steady.
Yeah, they went down for the first time.
Maybe
his appearance here.
It would have been hard to top 77. So.
Was it 68, 77, and now 42? Okay.
That's still good, though. I mean, like Coach said, and I think when, Destrehan at the beginning of the year, we talk about them, and, they're always going to be there in the mix. And the one thing he mentioned, and we probably agree, is that their defense hadn't been a typical Destrehan defense, which is very stingy, right? And so it'll be interesting to see how the next 3 weeks come and how they evolve defensively because their offense is there.
And it hasn't been a typical offense for Destrehan. They've always been balanced. Shane Lee, you remember, 3.5 years started, running back, big, thick kid. Mm-hmm. They lose him. And then they lacked the vertical threat. With their receiving group that I mentioned, they're really, really good. They have, because of the freshman quarterback, and nothing against him by any means, but he couldn't stretch the field downfield like Fields can, and they become a different team offensively with that.
They're not a good draw for anybody.
No, they won't be a good draw.
Week 11.
Also down in New Orleans, we'll run through some scores real quick. John Curtis pulls out a 17-14 win over Brother Martin. That game was 14-14 going into the fourth. Carr, we mentioned 21-9 win over Jesuit. They moved to 6-0. Carr, it was 14-7 game at the end of the third quarter. That one was tight. We mentioned Captain Shreve, Destrehan, Mandeville, Hammond. We were still looking for that one.
No, Mandeville won pretty well. Yeah, they won.
And then Shaw just blew out Walker. Walker's struggling a little bit next week. I think we may get to see them in person against Dutchtown at Walker, I believe.
Mandeville won 41-13 over Hammond.
That's correct. Yeah. And did we get the Shaw over Walker
59-14 or something like that?
Yep. And speaking of Dutchtown and coming off of a bye week, Denham got off to a 6-0 start, going down, driving again in the red zone. Dutchtown picked off a pass, and this kind of changed the momentum of the game, 14-6. Then
turnovers have really hurt Denham Springs
the
last couple of weeks.
Turnovers and some penalties at bad times, but Dutchtown ended up winning that 27-13. But Coach Beard, he was going to have Denham Springs ready to go after that loss last week, unexpected loss probably to Live Oak, and they ran the ball really well. It's just, mentioned turnovers.
Bellchase still undefeated as far as teams in the New Orleans area. I don't have a complete list.
They probably will end up undefeated. You talking about undefeated teams?
Yeah.
We had 26.
Right.
I think going into tonight.
Well,
Neville knocks off Ruston. So
Pope John Paul lost. Lakeside lost. I think there was one or two more that I saw that lost.
Lutcher.
We'll have to go through that.
Yeah, we'll go through that here in a little bit.
Break, but yeah, they had 26 teams.
Yeah, tell you what, we'll take a look at this, and then when we get back, we have more scores. We'll go through some of those undefeated teams, see who's still in the mix. This is Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, Week 7, and we are presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your view.
Hi, I'm John D'Angelo, founder and CEO of Investar Bank. Here at Investar, we're about building lasting relationships, making the right moves, and catering to your needs because you are the heartbeat of our local community. Come on over and experience the Investar difference. Visit us anytime, any place, in person, or online. And tell them that John sent you. Fans, burgers are ready. Investar. Investar.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 9.
Now back to the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
In just a minute, we'll run down who is left on the list of undefeated around the state. But let's get you caught up on scores, and we'll start first in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
West Feliciana over Bruley, 35-28. Catholic High, 35. Central, 17. Dutchtown's a 27-13 winner over Denham Springs. Santa Maria defeats East Ascension, 17-12. White Castle, a 44-43 winner over North Iberville. St. James defeats McDonough, 35, 26-9. Plaquemine all over St. Michael, 61-28. And Woodlawn over Scotlandville, 33-15.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, presented by Investar Bank.
Riverside over West St. John, 41-6. Shaw defeats Walker, 59-14. Destrehan's a 46-42 winner over Captain Shreve. Edna Carr, 21, Jesuit 9. Terrebonne, 42-8 winner over East St. John. Belle Chase defeats Patterson, 44-6. In 4 overtimes, Legacy High out of Texas, 34. St. Charles, 28. And John Curtis, 17. Brother Martin, 14.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, fueled by frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Karen Crow's a 37-27 winner over Sam Houston. Kaplan defeats Southern Lab, 40-20. Notre Dame's a 42-28 winner over Lafayette Christian. Vermilion Catholic defeats Ascension Episcopal, 49-27. Cecilia all over Beauchene, 71-0. Erath, 43. Berwick, 7. And Iowa, 47. Washington Marion, 12.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Neville over Ruston, 26-21. Airline defeats Houghton, 56-13. Oak Grove, a 26-20 winner over Mangum. West Monroe, 15. Ouachita, 13. Red River, a 30-6 winner over Lakeside. Calvary, 24. Union Parish, 14. West Ouachita, 48. Tioga, 26. Evangel, 33. Benton, 32.
The North Shore Scoreboard, connected by Rev.
Lakeshore is a 42-21 winner over Pearl River. Mandeville defeats Hammond, 41-13. Covington over Slidell, 7-6. North Lake Christian, 27. Pope John Paul, 21. Kentwood, 56. Independent, 6. Salmon's a 42-14 winner over Fontainebleau. LaRonger defeats Hannon, 50-49. And Albany, 38. Springfield, 28.
Thank you, Skip.
Kate, I want to jump into that Acadiana area real quick.
All right.
Sam Houston and Karen Crow. Sam Houston led 24-16 at the half. Drew Bailey, the running back, was just going absolutely nuts. 11 carries, 229 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half. Karen Crow comes back and wins that game 37-27. That's the 3rd win in a row, I believe, for Coach Gavin Peters. You got to remember they started their schedule early. STM, LCA, Zachary. 2 of those losses were by 1 point to St. Thomas More and Zachary. They're a young team. All their skill guys are juniors. Offensive line is 3 sophomores and 2 juniors. They're starting to grow up a little bit. Kaplan defeating Southern Lab, hands them, 40-20, your view game of the week. Southern Lab drops 3 straight, but I think all 3 of these games will benefit Southern Lab down the road. I was Denham Springs, Southern Lab, and then Kaplan. And then the one that kind of really surprised me tonight was Notre Dame beating LCA 42-28. It was 21-0, like we mentioned.
You know they
earlier
weren't going
in
to
the
lose
show.
4 in a row.
Huh?
You knew Notre Dame wasn't going to lose 4 in a row.
No, I think didn't they win last week? Notre Dame. Yeah, they beat Lake Arthur 42-6. But yeah, they had lost 3 in a row, and you just don't see that with Coach Louis Cook. Oh, and also real quick, Caden DeBetta, quarterback at Acadiana, set the school all-time passing record tonight. Completed the pass that said it was completed to his little brother Colin. And the thing about it was Scott McCullough, the head coach, held the record. So
what
Coach
was it,
McCullough
for 1,000 yards maybe?
3,000, so right over 3,000.
We went over the list of undefeated teams in the break. We got a complete updated roster.
I think so. Let's see. Ruston lost, Central lost, Lakeside lost, Pope John Paul lost, Ascension Episcopal lost to another undefeated team. North Iberville lost a heartbreaker 44-43 to White Castle. Mark Brown and his staff did a good job in that one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6 of them that we know of right off. So we're down to 20 teams, 6 of them in 5A. That'd be Airline, Ash, Neville, Dutchtown, Mandeville, and Carr. We have Turlings, Lutcher, and Bell Chase in 4A. In 3A, we have Bunkie and Haynes Academy. Haven't seen what they did tonight. 2A, we have...
They play tomorrow.
Okay. 2A, we have OCS, Dunham, and Newman left. In 1A, we have Haynesville, Catholic High Point, Capee, Vermilion Catholic, Covenant Christian, Jeanerette, and St. Edmund.
That's your undefeated teams as we wrap up week 7 of the prep football season. So we've covered the North Louisiana area, covered out in Acadiana, covered here in Baton Rouge. Some of those North Shore games ended a little late, so I know we were just kind of getting some of those finals a little later than we had. Just trying to think of what area we haven't really hit on tonight. I think we've probably pretty much covered it all.
Riverside, I think West St. John had lost one game coming in here, but Riverside, that some of these, as Jimmy kind of mentioned, I think mentioned it off the air, some of these schools have misleading records. I think West St. John was like 5-1. Riverside beat them 41-6. St. Thomas Aquinas, their record's not misleading. They lost 44-7. Talking about on the North Shore, Ponchatoula 42-7, loser to St. Paul. St. Paul's still playing well.
And Lutcher also, I thought, was a big win over E.D. White. Because E.D. White coming in, I mean, that's 2 really good teams. Coliseum has done an exceptional job down at E.D. White.
E.D. White, who is the Division II select number 2 team in the Todd Black Power Rankings.
They couldn't get any type of separation, Lutcher. I mean, it stayed a tight ball game the whole way, but Lutcher moves to 6-0, and E.D. White falls to 5-2. E.D. White's,
I think Lutcher's now still undefeated in district, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Lutcher's undefeated, period.
Yeah.
So E.D. White's only loss earlier was the week 2 into Jesuit. They had wins over Holy Cross and Hahnville. Just have been blowing people out 180-14 in their last 3 weeks. Lutcher had outscored their opponents 181-18 on the year, only allowing 3.6 a game, 3 shutouts. But I'm sure Coach Jenkins will take a 27-20 win, even though the defense gave up a little bit more than what they're accustomed to down there.
You know, interesting conversation we had on Wednesday night. If you get a chance, go back to 1045ESPN.com and click on the Louisiana Prep Weekly tab. We had a conversation with Lowell Narcisse, head football coach at Ascension Catholic, and he talked about his coaching influences. Coach Davis, Coach Jenkins, and you know, those
Coach
guys.
Valdez. First 2 he mentioned was Valdez and Jenkins. That's 2 pretty good ones to have mentored you.
Yeah, pretty awesome. And obviously he's done some great things for quarterbacks, and you know, his story in particular, Coach Narcisse, interesting calling him coach now, but you know, that's a guy who's battled through some adversity.
Yep,
for sure. And them having success is pretty cool. So we'll take a time out. When we get back, it'll be time for us to wrap up tonight's show. We'll hand out some helmet stickers and take a sneak peek into some of the games coming up in Week 8. This is Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Your View.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values: committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Do you think you have COVID-19?
I'm worried I may have COVID.
We're open 7 days a week for both rapid COVID and antibody testing. Life is busy. You don't have time. Get your results fast at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Hi, I'm John D'Angelo, founder and CEO of Investar Bank. Here at Investar, we're about building lasting relationships, making the right moves, and catering to your needs because you are the heartbeat of our local community. Come on over and experience the Investar difference. Visit us anytime, any place, in person, or online. And tell them that John sent you. Fans burgers are ready. Investar. Investar.
Don't have time for a new rash?
I don't have time for this.
We're here to help with convenient virtual visits on your computer or any mobile device. If you don't have
Coach K from Wiseman High School, and you listen to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. A big shout out again to our friends at Frankie's Dog House. They catered the meal for our team tonight. Boy, another great meal from Frankie's Dog House. And you think of the hot dogs naturally, but the hamburgers are fantastic too. They're open 7 days a week. Open until 10 p.m. on Thursdays if you want to go watch Thursday Night Football. 20 different hot dogs. They got those double patty smash burgers if you'd like. Those are good.
Those are super.
Yep.
Wings, melts, happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 7. All-day happy hour on the weekends. They got that new and improved outdoor seating on the back deck. So a nice time of the year to be outside.
Ryan was talking about that first thing when he come in.
With the all-day happy hour?
About the that and the sitting area.
Huh?
Yeah. Sit on that back deck over there at Frankie's Dog House, just past the Perkins Road overpass. You can stop by. And they were very great in partnering with us and feeding our crew tonight. So thanks so much to Frankie's Dog House. Let's go ahead and get to tonight's edition of Helmet Stickers.
Highlighting tonight's top performers. This is Helmet Stickers on the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show.
All right, Jimmy Roy, what you got?
got another easy one, man. The last few weeks, they've just been like layups handed to you.
Mhm.
Sid Edwards,
Yeah.
200th win. Like I said, I think he really changed the landscape of coaching and the way people coach things and do things, boot camps, etc. And him getting his 200th win, it says a lot.
I know you guys have a lot of respect for Coach Edwards in the coaching world and working with him. There's a lot of people who probably have that same sentiment tonight. Coach Black?
In a night where the Ruston Bearcats honored his cousin, Tarver Braddock, I'm going to give my helmet sticker to Thomas Campbell for Neville, 6 receptions, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
And give it to both teams. I'll go a little further than that. Give it to Ruston for doing that. First class, as you mentioned.
It's my helmet sticker.
Yeah. Well, okay. And Neville for the win. You got to give. I mean, let's expand a little bit, man.
All right. Sounds good.
I know you had the stats a little earlier, but I'll give mine to Baylor Graves. A heck of a night for that young man. They call it at 4th and 8, 4th and 9, and a great pass, but really a fantastic night. Nice seeing him recover from some earlier. What was it? I guess back in the U-High game, got a little banged up, but he's been back since. They had that week off that felt a good time for him to get better, and he had a really nice game tonight.
Yeah, I think it was 21 for 24, 234 yards, I think, and 3 touchdowns. So good night for Baylor Graves, absolutely. And look, I think Catholic High they're different on offense than what they've been, but I think they've done an extremely good coaching job of knowing who they are and knowing what Baylor can do compared to what Daniel Beal could do last year. And I just think that the staff at Catholic High has done an outstanding job up to this point, and Baylor has played really well.
So as we wind down tonight, I know we've talked a lot about some of these big matchups and the results. Any final words on surprises or how things played out with some of these big key district games we saw tonight from the Baton Rouge area or from, say, North Louisiana?
I looked down in New Orleans. I think, Brother Martin, John Curtis, 17-14, Jesuit, and Carr, where Carr won, and Holy Cross, and I think beat Warren Easton 25-21. So those are all really good, close games. I think you're going to continue to see that down there, and you're going to continue to see it up in 2-5A. I think, they'll continue. Neville, Alexandria, West Monroe, Ouachita, and Ruston are all going to bang each other up. And then you got Pineville, who's just kind of out there right now, and they're a little bit behind the rest of those guys.
And they play defense down in that New Orleans district. There's not. Other than Carr, there's not a really strong offensive team, but they all play good defense. Pull up that 2-5A schedule.
Yeah.
Okay. See who. That one's
so Ash has got Ruston next week, and Neville has Ouachita Parish.
That's going to be another physical game.
Yep.
Who's West Monroe have?
Let's see. West Monroe is Pineville.
Yeah, so they'll get
at
a
home.
little bit of an off week.
Ouachita very well. Good. That Neville's sitting right for Ouachita.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and their stretch for the next couple of weeks for Ouachita, the 25th next Friday at Neville, and then home with Ash before Pineville.
And they lost to West Monroe and to Ruston by 2 each, I think.
Yes. Oh, well, yeah.
No, 1.
1.
1 and 2.
Wow.
So 3 points between those 2 games.
They're not going to be easy out either in the playoffs. They're playing really good ball.
Ruston with Ash, and then also they still have West Monroe at the end of the year.
And was
it's
it
tough, man?
Was it Ouachita Parish that had 3 wins last year overall, and had bounced back this year? And
they're a young team. They got
3 and 8 or something like last year.
They got those transfers from St. Ed.
Yeah,
quarterback. St. Fred. Yeah, and
new coach and Benji
Lewis in his second year, and they got the quarterback and the running back Montrell and
Connor.
and MJ Dade. I think it is at running back. So they're right on the edge of it.
What did the Terriers do tonight?
I did not see.
What?
I get so caught up in the ebb and flow of the show. I didn't even see.
I bet they won.
They may have played last night.
They bounced back from that loss to
have to go and check. I can't find it right now. Out of time. I'm sure the Terriers did great.
They won the band competition.
Oh, hopefully so.
I
Those
think I
tubas
saw
are
where they
fantastic.
won. We'll
All
just
right.
say that.
Yeah.
And what's Abigail dressing up for Halloween?
Well, it's going back and forth. Last year, it was probably about 3 days out before we actually made a final decision.
Mm-hmm.
And cheerleader is the leading vote getter right now.
Do you get a say-so in this?
No. He may have a say-so, but it don't count.
No, I'm the one that goes on Amazon and probably orders it, I guess. But
that's a good thing.
We
keep your wife
have a
off
great
of
time.
there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Go to the Kmart section.
Oh man, our Kmart's are closing.
They don't know what a Kmart is, Todd.
I know what a Kmart is.
The
All
Blue
right,
Light Special.
We'll take a 1 week break. We'll be back next Friday. Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and your view.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.